Who really chooses America's presidents? The bankers behind the throne. 1. Democracy and the myth of choice. American history loves to tell a clean story. Ordinary men rise to extraordinary office. The ballot box decides. The people rule. But beneath the speeches and parades, another story runs. Presidents may look like free actors, but money has always set the stage. Boardrooms and banks worked in the shadows. Finance shaped policy, funded campaigns, and in many cases, limited who could even run. So what does that actually mean? It means democracy works, but within guardrails built by bankers. Footnote. Elections create leaders, but financial power narrows the range of choices. 2. The early battles, Hamilton versus Jefferson. From the start, money and politics were inseparable. Hamilton built the first national bank. Jefferson warned it would create a moneyed aristocracy. He wasn't wrong. The bank stabilized the economy, yes, but also gave financiers a lever to influence government. Even after its charter expired, the precedent was locked in. Control money, shape politics. Footnote. The first national bank tied government to private finance and set a lasting precedent. 3. Jackson's Bank War. Jackson fought the second bank like it was a dragon. He cast it as an enemy of liberty, a weapon of elites. He won the battle, shutting it down. But he lost the war. Power didn't vanish. It shifted into private hands. Free from oversight, finance spread into Wall Street. The stage for future presidents was already being built, by bankers. Footnote. Jackson ended a national bank but strengthened private financial influence. 4. The Gilded Age, Morgan steps in. By the late 1800s, industrial fortunes towered over politics. J.P. Morgan was more than a banker. He was a kingmaker. In the panic of 1907, when the system cracked, it was Morgan, not the president, who organized the rescue. That should raise eyebrows. Who really ran the country in that moment? Out of the crisis came the Federal Reserve in 1913, cementing a permanent marriage between banks and government. Footnote. The panic of 1907 proved bankers could outrank presidents in crises. 5. Wars, loans, and quiet influence. World War I showed how finance could drag politics into battle. American banks, heavily invested in Allied loans, needed victory. The government followed. Later, Roosevelt thundered against money changers in the Depression, but even the New Deal was crafted with Wall Street hands guiding the pen. And when war came again, bankers financed the arsenal of democracy, profiting while shaping the post-war order. Footnote. Financial stakes pulled the U.S. into wars and shaped Depression-era reform. 6. Kennedy and defiance. Kennedy tried something unusual. Through Executive Order 1110, he nudged the Treasury toward issuing silver-backed money, limiting the Federal Reserve's grip. That experiment didn't last. After his death, it was reversed. Whether connected or not, the message was clear: presidents who challenged finance stepped into dangerous waters. Footnote. Kennedy's attempt to bypass central banking power was quickly undone. 7. The cost of modern campaigns. By the late 20th century, TV ads and billion-dollar campaigns rewired elections. Money became oxygen. No money, no chance. Bankers and corporate elites stepped in as funders. Nixon, Reagan, Clinton, each leaned on Wall Street networks. Policies followed. Deregulation in the 1980s. Financial engineering in the 1990s. And eventually, the 2008 crash, born from choices made decades earlier. Footnote. Modern presidential politics depends on massive campaign financing tied to Wall Street. 8. 21st century presidents. The pattern holds. Bush served industries tied to oil and finance. Obama promised hope but filled his cabinet with Wall Street veterans. The bailouts of 2008 and 2009 showed one hard truth: no matter who was in office, big banks were untouchable. Trump ran as an outsider, then filled posts with bankers. Biden promised progressive change but still draws from the same financial circles. Footnote: recent presidents, despite rhetoric, rely on financial elites for stability and survival. 9. The real lesson. Elections matter. But not as much as most think. Voters pick the actor, but bankers write the script. Presidents can reform, resist, or reframe the story, but they operate inside financial boundaries set long before they arrive. For 2 centuries, bankers have been America's quiet kingmakers. Presidents come and go. Capital stays. Footnote: bankers have maintained continuous influence regardless of presidents or parties.